So you're going to
Hi,
talk about
everybody.
today?
Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson. How are we doing today? Drop in the chat where you're joining me from. Love to say hi to a few of you. Today's call will be nothing short of exceptional. And I know that for certain because the young man, I call him young because I'm older than him. The young man who's coming on is exceptional. Absolutely incredible story. And I'm not going to take away from what he's going to share, but you're going to feel like your life is easy when you hear the challenges and stresses that Christo has overcome to accomplish what he has. And it should give you clarity. It should give you purpose. It should make you excited and focused. And it should also get you some promise that there is a big old pile waiting for you at the top of this mountain you're climbing. So a party is more fun with more people. I am a firm believer in party. I am a firm believer in promotion. And so join America Live, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're all streaming concurrently. Invite some people to come on to join. I got a couple updates real quick, and then we're going to have Christo come on and talk about how he's writing $30,000 a month, has a team issue paying $750,000 a month, and has 90% agency persistency. Absolutely tremendous results, tremendous effort, and tremendous reward. But all that comes on the back of a tremendous amount of hard work. So get this out to your people. People are going to love Christo. They're going to love this call. They're going to love him, and they're going to be inspired and ready to move to the next level. So join America Live. Drop that into your group chats, your WhatsApps, your Telegrams, etc. And we'll get this thing started here with Christo in just a minute, but I'm going to do my best to razzle dazzle and excite you here for the next couple minutes. So what's up, Sheila? Nice to see you. Dustin, hello, buddy, out there in St. Louis. Jamie in Deerfield Beach. Jenna, she's in Florida, bringing 20 people to Ignite as a new personal producer. She's bringing them like crazy, and excited about that. Steve Irving in Coconut Creek. Mary Brick in Seattle. Hello, everybody so far. Excited to see this call numbers continue to climb. So let's jump into some amazing updates, and we'll get Chris on here in just a minute. Obviously, we need to talk about the shining star in our company that is continuing to grow, evolve, and support agents, Integrity Connect. It is an all-in-one platform that makes it easy for a CRM. You can quote, directly single sign-on into the carrier apps, and tracks everything. What's great about this is that I reflect back to being a new agent using paper apps. Now, back in my day, you know, when we used to have to walk uphill in the snow both ways to get to school or work or whatever, it was a different time where you guys get to sit in your board shorts and your hats, and you girls get to wear yoga pants and drink your lattes. Pumpkin spice, I think, is out right now. All those great things that we have, the comforts of home. This business has taken all those things and put it into one single product that's free to us as FFL agents because we are partnered with Integrity, and they created this incredible product. I can't say how many figures, but I believe it's over 100 million. I go. There's been an incredible amount of money creating an incredible tool for us where you can get your leads in Lead Center or upload them right in. Goes right into Integrity Connect. Integrity Connect, you can plug in all the health challenges, medications they're taking, anything going with the client, and then boom, the carriers that you are contracted with, it will immediately show you the price and quotes based on the dollar amounts at which you configure. You want to see 10,000 a whole life, you want to see 200,000 a term, you want to see 300,000 on an IUL, all kinds of different scenarios you can run. So absolutely incredible product they give to us for free. And then from there, if you like a product, your client likes the price, click, boom, right, the app opens up right on your screen, single sign-on with all the carriers you're contracted with, and you're immediately writing the application with Betty's information, Betty Davis's name pulled in, her birthday pulled in, the state she lives in goes right in the app already. I mean, it does not get simpler for agents to capitalize. And I just am so grateful for the amount of growth that FFL has, that we have a product like this to streamline ease, right? And so if you've never heard this before, I'm going to tell you, and you might hear it again. But in America, the number one product that's sold is convenience. The number one product in America is convenience. People pay for convenience. And here we have a convenient tool that is free to our agents and all new agents that are coming on. If you're a manager on this call, I'd be recruiting with this product. If you're a new agent, I'd be using this product. If you're an experienced agent, I'd be spot checking with this product. It's a phenomenal tool and it's free to all of us. So great job to Integrity. Great job to FFL for partnering with them. And I'm looking forward to everyone continuing to use it and grow. And right now we have a bonus with it that between now and November 14th, if you submit 10 apps through Integrity Connect, they're going to give you $1,000. I mean, it does not get easier than that. I had to build my agency to $150,000 a month to get my first VP bonus, which was $200. And all you've got to do as an agent is submit 10 apps, get them to issue, and Integrity is going to send you $1,000. So not a bad deal. Numbers are continuing to grow because people love it. It's only getting better. If you've used it before, it's better than it was. They're improving the dashboard. They're improving the phone numbers. You get a phone number, you can text. All kinds of just great resources and tools are continuing to come out. And because you're a part of FFL, the greatest company in life insurance sales, you get it for free. So enjoy. Moving on, Ignite. Coming down to the pipeline at this moment. I think it's 168 hours. That's how many hours are in a week. So in 165 hours from right this moment, Ignite will be starting in Palm Beach, Florida. As of 12 minutes ago, Natasha sent me the updated numbers. Off the phone, we have Ignite registrations, right? Ready for this? Just get ready. 2,838 people are registered right now as of this moment. So the numbers are continue to climb. Nearly 100 a day are getting registered. Why? Well, we've already had to double the size of the room. And on top of that, we have a Spanish session that evening led by Digna De Leon Morris, one of our fastest growing agency managers in the company, absolutely crushing it in the Latino market. We're having 2 sessions that day, 9 to 4. In English, and then 5 to 9 in Spanish. So 7 days from today, an absolutely tremendous event. 100 plus speakers will come across stage sharing the best stuff they got, how to sell insurance, how to overcome objections, how to recruit agents, how to get agents started fast, mindset, everything you would want as an agent that you need to get clarity and confidence to move yourself forward in this business. And Jade, how much is it? It's free. It's free. It's free. And I'm so proud to be partnered with a company that puts agents first, that doesn't go, hey, you know what? We could charge them like $200 for this and make a bunch of money off these agents, right? That's what every other company does with FFL. They turn agents into profit centers, and we just want to make our agents profitable. Great tools, resources, free training events. All you got to do is get there. And I will tell you this, there is no guarantee that if you go to Ignite, you're going to become successful. There's no guarantee you're going to know what to do. There's no guarantee that I can't make promises. But I will guarantee you this, that every successful person will be at Ignite because they know the power of getting better. They know the power of the room. They know the power of getting around those that are making it happen. And if you've got the means or the will or the want to change your life in this industry, you've got 7 days to figure out how to get a couple $100 together, get a Southwest, get a Frontier flight, find a couple people, reach out to me if you need help. We can plug you in a room with a few other people and get there. I reflect back to my early conventions and my early network marketing businesses. I would pack in, I was at the Tropicana in Vegas at 10 people in the room, sleeping with a sheet that I got off of the laundry cart on the way in that I wrapped myself up underneath the window right in front of the air conditioning. I was freezing my butt off, but I was there up at 7, sitting in the seat at 8 o'clock when that event started at 9. And I got my mindset right. I got better. And, it took me a while to find FFL. And it took me a while to figure this out. But those small commitments early in my career, Kat, gave me clarity and confidence to push myself forward to where I am today. And I can only wish and want that for you. So if you are coming to Ignite, drop an I in the chat below. Drop an I or a 7 because it's 7 days away. Whatever you're closest to. I think you've got to get the numbers. You got to push the number. But throw some I's in the chat below. If you're coming to Ignite, love to see who's coming there. Please come say hi to me. This will be the last call till we have it. Next week, we will not have a call because we will be at Ignite. We'll be playing a recording, but it'll feel like it's live. So join if you're not going to Ignite because it'll be great training. But this will be our last call for a little bit. We've got some stuff going on here the next couple of weeks. So I'm so excited to have Christo on today so we can crush it. But one final note on the agenda. We have a meet and greet the night before on Wednesday night. All the carriers will be there. All of our top carriers who we are, the number one selling IMO with all of them. So they love us. They'll be there. My advice to you as an agent, a new agent, agency manager, someone building, is go meet all the carrier reps, introduce yourselves, get their numbers. They help you with contracting. They can help you with underwriting, getting big cases pushed through. And that's the beauty of an event like this, is you get to network with the people that can help you, right? You get around the people that are making the sales, and that we can do that at that meet and greet the night before, 5 to 7. Food will be served as well. They'll have food available. And then after that, go have some time, spend some time with your team, and then be there at the event, nice and bright and early. Get ready. We will start promptly at 8:55. Shawn Mike will be on stage shooting off a t-shirt cannon, I'm sure, or throwing tennis balls with lead vouchers. It's going to be an event. I can't wait. 2,838. I always forget how to read numbers sometimes, but 2,838 people registered so far. There is no doubt in my mind we won't beat over 3,000, and it's free. So you got every reason to go, and only a couple not to go. So it's up to you to decide if this is for you and if you really want to make it happen here. So excited for next week. That is looks like a. I'm going to read it over here. This is where we talk about Chubb, because Chubb is a new final expense we've brought on. Yes, combined. So let me back up. If you were joining me last week, you learned all about Chubb's product, a company combined that is under Chubb, which is a $285 billion insurance company that we partnered with. They have a product through a company called Combined, and they have a product called Generational Life, Unreal, Whole Life, 0 to 80, up to 50,000, I believe, 4 different rate classes, contracting in minutes, daily pay, just phenomenal product. If you do not have the Chubb Combined Whole Life yet, text your upline manager right now. And we'll wait till this after the call, make a note, but text your contracting manager, say, I need Chubb, and get that product. It's fantastic. You are going to love it. I can't read the notes on here, but it's good. It's fantastic. Watch the video from last week where I interviewed Charisse. She told us all about it. So you're going to love it. And this one too. This is NLG's new product. If you can see this, give me a thumbs up. But we have NLG's product that just launched 3 days ago. I talked to Zach this morning. Sales are going through the roof. It is a brand new instant issue IUL from NLG. I hope that, other carrier reps aren't on here, but NLG is the pinnacle, the zenith, the elitist of IUL companies. And the fact that they've had such great products for so long, we're so grateful to have that relationship with them. But I was talking to Devin, I think it was in March, and Devin's like, we're looking at making another really, advanced cash value, super, living benefit, Liberty Trust type, super elite product for the affluent, and this really incredible cash value domination with, matrices. And I'm like, Devin, we sell to middle America. There's 100 million people between the ages of 18 and 85 that we want to sell insurance to in middle American market. That we serve, right? We don't, we serve the masses, right? We go where the people are, right? Old mentor said, Grady, you got to find people. People have the money, right? That's who you want to sell. So I'm like, Devin, make us a simple IUL, make us a simple product that we can sell to everybody with limited underwriting guidelines that creates that's instant issue. And he's like, that's a good idea. I'll bring that back. And I'm not taking the credit for it, but we had this conversation and I was like, dude, don't make us another fancy one. We've got a fancy one. Make us a simple one. And they did. And it launched on Monday. Absolutely incredible. Hearing great results from people. People are whipping through the app so fast that they've got to speed up their HIPAA approval in the back office. Just great stuff. So NLG's brand new simple issue IUL, Chubb's final expense whole life. We've got, and on top of all the other incredible products that we have, which is the power of being a broker, right? I was talking to a guy the other day and I was like, why don't you have this product? He's like, well, I didn't know to get it. And I was like, well, you did know to get it, but you just didn't do it. He's like, I forgot. I was like, you're not that company anymore where you have one product and you sell one thing and you hope that they can get approved. You have all these things because you're a broker now. And that's the power of being partnered with FFL is you're a broker. You have multiple products, multiple carriers, and you can do whatever it takes to put yourself and your people in the right position. So moving forward, numbers for last month, August, absolutely incredible. We broke every record possible, and I'm just so humbled to be a part of such great agents and agency managers and put us in a position. $15,473,775 of issue paid volume for our agency. 2,079 agents, guys, earned a paycheck because someone out there served a family. And that's an incredible place to be. I'd love to read every single name on here, but I want to get Christo on here in just a minute. But guys, be proud of yourself. I always tell people, if you're on this list, stay on the list. If you're on the list, move up the list. And if you're not yet on the list, get on the list, because this is the top 100. And to make it on here, you had to write $26,000 in a month. Incredible, life-changing money can happen. Incredible things can happen. I make no promises. I make no guarantees. This is based on your effort, your skill set, and your ability to move clients forward, which we help you develop. And that's, we're pretty okay at it, you know? So I'm trying to read between the, trying to be careful, because, but you know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So take a look at the numbers. Incredible job. 15 million issue paid. I mean, I think I'm looking at Jade right now, and I'm like, when Jade started working with me, our agency was doing 80,000 a month. And now we sit here a few years later to see these incredible numbers. So be proud of yourselves, be proud of the effort you put in, be proud of the company you're a part of, and be proud to keep taking steps forward and making yourself better and serving clients. So great job, everybody. A couple final things. Corporate put out their numbers this morning. Last month was our biggest month as FFL ever. So we had our biggest month as an agency. FFL had their biggest month, $57,546,552.30 issue paid. So an incredible month from corporate. 6,438 unique writers from FFL. And our top carriers, Americo, Ethos, Moo, Athene, and Corbridge. Just a huge, huge, huge month. Congratulations to everybody. I mean, you know, the cliche lines, we're just getting started. I don't know. We're just crushing everything right now. And I couldn't be happier and more proud to be a part of FFL, as should you. All right. There's one thing that when you're looking at an opportunity is am I in on the ground floor? That can be good, like in AI maybe, but like, am I good on the ground floor of an insurance company that's got guaranteed contracts for compensation, proven leadership, proven sales skills? I mean, it's just unbelievable what we continue to do together. And I couldn't be more proud of everybody. So a couple more. Oh yeah, look at the growth. So April, 54 million. May, they're gonna pop up here. My eyes are bad, so that's one thing. You get older, your eyes. I mean, they're fine eyes, but you know they don't see as far with little letters. 54 million, 50 million, 52 million. July took a dip, 49 million. Why? It's summer. People are not working. They're with their kids, or they're not buying because they're with their kids on vacation. But then we fix that real quick. August, 57 million. Year to date, $419 million issue paid by our company. There's companies that we allegedly compete with that haven't done this in their entire career. There's companies that we allegedly compete with that have products from carriers that have never done this much volume. And we do this in 9 months or 8 months. Just absolutely incredible. Be proud that you're here. Be proud of yourself, and let's keep pushing. So final slide. It is Life Insurance Awareness Month since September. Over 100 million people is the market right now for insurance. 1 in 4 adult Americans say their household would feel a financial impact of death if the primary earner earned 1 month or less of income. Guys, so there's a humongous market out there. We serve families. We serve people. You can take it off, Natasha. We serve people, and we do what's absolute best for families. And I'll say something. I'll say this here, and not to get too heartfelt or too emotional, but this afternoon, I am going to a memorial for a young man that died in my daughter's class. And this mother, they're doing a memorial at the school. The mother lost her husband and her 2 sons in a tragic accident. Just happened last year. Absolutely awful. And you don't know when that day will come. We don't know. I don't know. I take my vitamins. I work out every day. I kiss my wife. I kiss my kids. And I hope to see them when I get home from the office today. But shit could happen. And this poor, unfortunate thing happened in my community. And I'm going to go honor them and be a part of something this afternoon. But it's just so important to not be weak, right? You have a responsibility as an agent with a license and a lead that's looking for help to not be weak. Don't be soft. Don't just take their excuses. Don't say they need to think about it. Figure out what they're thinking about. Figure out how you can get better, because our job is to serve. because we do not know when that will happen. We cannot predict the future. All we can do is serve our clients at the absolute best we can. And so I'm so grateful to be a part of this industry. I'm so grateful to offer the products we do and serve the American and hell, maybe we'll be in Canada soon at some point. I don't know, but serve the hardworking families that we get to serve each and every day, and be proud for yourself for being in insurance, because we do something that on the absolute worst day of a family's life, we're the only one that provides something positive. So I appreciate you all, grateful for you all. And let's turn the corner now. So let's bring him on, and then I'll rip and roar. What's up?
What's happening, dude? How are you,
Christo? I mean, there's good, there's great, and there's me. So that's how I'm doing. All right, I'm doing so good, bro. Yeah, I'm fantastic. But let me give you a proper intro, and then we'll get in this call. So, but as I do this proper intro, slam your keyboard with some CBs and show Christo some love. Give him some love. Bring him on here with a big rip roaring hello. So, all right. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson. Welcome to the America Agency. So excited to have Christo Bolger on with us today. Young man, which I met a couple years ago in our office, and seeing him then to whom he has evolved and become today is truly a testament of hard work, discipline, effort, and blocking out excuses and noise, right? There's always noise. There's always BS. There's always nonsense. But Christo made a decision to change his life, and now he's rapidly changing others. Christo issues $30,000 a month on his personal pen selling, and leads his team of $750,000 a month in agents. Absolutely phenomenal producer, phenomenal manager, and phenomenal man. I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear from him, hear his story, and hear what he's doing each and every day to grow this business and take it to the next levels. How you doing today, bro?
I am wonderful. That is quite the intro, Grady. I appreciate that. It actually gave me chills hearing that. So I appreciate you more than you know.
I appreciate you too, bro. So we flash back. I think we had you on a couple years ago, right when you were getting started, getting going and selling. And I'm like, who do I love? Who do I want to for the world to get to re-experience or re-know? We've grown so much since then as a company. There's so many new people, so many people looking at this industry, and I want them to just get to know you more. And so, you've got the word isn't unique. The word is, it might be unique. It might be special. It might be, maybe you say it's a blessing. I don't know how you would describe, but you have a story that is unlike one that I've heard, but one that I'm so proud to know you for overcoming. And I would love it if you kind of give people some backstory, and then we'll get into the fun insurance stuff. But I'd love for people to get to know more about who you are.
Let's do it. First and foremost, I just want to communicate how grateful I am to be in a position where I even get asked to be on a call like this. Before I even got into the insurance space, I remember getting on these calls and listening to people, and it was like Erica Walker and Caitlin Blackburn and all these people. And I was sitting live on a call like this, and I was like, man, I hope when I get my license, I can be anywhere near as successful as these people are. And it's just a huge blessing. And I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, I'm just grateful to be on this call with you, Grady. Thank you for everything that you have done to support me, have my back, guide me along with everybody else at FFL. So I just want to start by saying that, because for someone like me, it takes a village. I don't have everything figured out. I'm the master of nothing, and I got a low IQ, but I do have a crazy work ethic. So I'm grateful to be in business with people that can point me in the right direction, where I don't have to recreate the wheel and try and figure out all new things like I've tried to do in every other industry I've been in. So super grateful for your leadership, how active you are, even after partnering with Integrity, like you, Nina, Hayden. I want to give you guys some love with how active you guys are, because you don't need to be, and I don't think everybody realizes that. But you run these calls every week, and you're super accountable. You're a great dad. You're a great business person. You're a great husband. Like, those are things that I just want to highlight, because I don't know if I can say this, but you're a badass. So I just want to let you know that out loud in front of everybody.
Thank you, bro.
As for myself, Grady, if I get hung up on anything, just speed me through. But I'm going to give you guys a little background on myself. I grew up on a super small island called San Juan Island in Washington State. Most people are like, oh, is that Puerto Rico or somewhere? No, it's Washington State. There's like 30 islands out off the coast of like Anacortes, kind of near Seattle. And I was born and raised there until I was like 15 years old. Very like humble beginnings. When you grow up on an island, there's no stoplights, there's no fast foods. It's different. Like there was 5,000 people living there. You know everybody, or they know somebody that you know. And I had a really cool childhood in the sense of like I played outside. Like I I shot birds with a pellet gun, which I don't think is good, but like I experienced those things of like being a boy and running around and getting dirty and playing sports and doing all those things, which I'm forever grateful for my parents of being in a safe place initially with growing up. And so I think that's a little different from other places, just being away from the outside world. Like you have the island and you refer to anywhere else as the mainland, kind of like you would if you lived on Hawaii. So it's just different. So right out the gate, I was a little odd. Backstory on that, like in the summer, it's a very beautiful place where a lot of people go to visit. In the winter, it's very sad, dark, depressing. There's not a whole lot going on. And I would say the addiction rate per capita is absolutely elevated from a lot of other places. And that's part of my story. And that's why I bring that up. But I had a really cool childhood. By the time we were 10, my parents are so awesome and they're so amazing. And I think they're actually watching this, which is cool. So if you guys are listening to this, I love you. And I'm super grateful for everything that you guys have done. But when I was 10, my family split up. My brother got sent away for like 4 years. And I didn't see my dad for a while. And bankruptcy, lost the house, lost everything to our name, and like pushed the restart button on life. And so I went from my dad being, a super successful real estate agent in the market in 2008 crashing and some family issues, which ended up being the best thing that could ever happen to our family, which is crazy to say now. But from going to having some money, like having a dirt bike and a couple cool things and shooting some guns and going on a couple trips to like, we have absolutely nothing and we have no idea where the future is headed or who we're staying with and what that looks like. And I bring that up because that set the tone for the future and my expectation of life, and also being able to value a dollar. Like you have a taste of something, and then you have it taken away, and it's like, okay, I really appreciate that, and I understand that. I'm gonna power through this real quick just to get to the meat and potatoes. Huge with sports. Sports changed my life. It was the biggest outlet that I've ever had. I played every sport that I possibly could. If my mom or dad could be on here, they'd probably be bragging about whatever talent they think I have, but I'm their kid. But I was really passionate about sports. I pitched when I played baseball. I was halfback when I played football. I was midi when I played lacrosse, right? I played basketball, all the things. Like I have this energy inside my body that I have to get out with physical activity. Otherwise it's really bad, right? It's bad for the public. It's bad for myself. But I have always had this energy where it's like when I plug it into the right place and I'm doing the right stuff, I become obsessive with it. I'd be out pitching in the front yard because I wanted to play pro baseball, and I would go and I would go and I would go. I was in the gym at a really young age, working out. My brother would beat me up at a really young age. So I wanted to be big and I wanted to be able to stand up for myself and do things like that. So physical activity and sports were huge for me. By the time I was 15 years old, I had been kicked out of sports for the second time for concussions and was not going to be medically cleared for any other contact sports. The only thing that they were like, maybe in like a year and a half, you can play golf. Right. So that changed the whole trajectory of like the excitement, the adrenaline, the rush, like sprinting into somebody. Men will understand this, like sprinting full speed into someone and having pregame jitters. Like that's a huge thing. And that's a huge outlet for stuff. So when that was taken off the table, family had split up, a lot of circumstances changed it. I took an absolute downturn. And this is kind of like the start of my story, which I will try not to spend too much time on. I fulfilled the sports energy with completely other stuff. Drugs and alcohol became a very large part of my life. When I was 15, I couldn't play sports anymore. When I was 15, I got charged with my first 2 felonies at 15 years old. And I was looking at getting tried as an adult just because the relation of what it was. And that just opened up a whole new realm of life to myself. I think once you get charged with a felony, even if you're a good, charismatic guy that's great at sports and has the world going for him, that changes the way your entire life is going to go on paper and the options that are available for you. And once that kind of started, my life went down a spiral. I wouldn't say that I didn't have fun. I wouldn't say that, you know, I didn't make money. I wouldn't take any of it back, maybe a couple things. But, you know, my life has been a series of absolutely crushing it even more, getting the girl, getting the car, getting the stuff, cash and prizes, all that. Yeah, awesome. Pursuing a life beyond my wildest dreams. And then thinking I can casually drink and burning my life to the ground. My life is a huge cycle of that. And that's part of my story. And I love this business because I can openly talk about it, where a lot of companies you can't. It's like, hey, dude, don't talk about this. But in this business, you guys have empowered me to talk about my stuff. And through with doing that, like I know of over 150 people that have gotten sober from being open about this at work events and being able to talk about it through FFL, which is amazing. And Sean showed me that that was okay because he talked about that at the first event. So I was like, I like this place when I found it. But to put a summary on that, I've died twice from drugs and alcohol. I've had multiple felonies on my records. I've had over 20 of my friends pass away from drugs and alcohol. You know, I've been in front of dead bodies related to that, and I've experienced a lot of loss, and I have like tears welling up in my eyes because it's like I think about that, and I'm so grateful I got the opportunity to experience the other sides of life, because now what's happening currently, I'm getting to live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I truthfully have gotten a second chance and then a second chance after that. I've had many chances, and I shouldn't be alive or sitting here or even in the position that I'm in. And so it's absolutely amazing that, you know, first and foremost, changing my life and getting clean and sober, which was like a little over 4 years ago, the two best decisions of my life. Getting and staying clean and sober, because I've gotten sober a lot of different times, and I could dive into that, but I think it's more relevant to spend time on other stuff because this isn't just about that. And then getting into the life insurance industry. Those two things are the best decisions I have ever made in my life. My mom would stamp that. My dad would stamp that. My brother, my friends, my family, everybody would put a stamp on that. And, you know, for anybody listening, I think before I got on this call, I just like said a prayer, and I was like, please help me say something to someone that needs to hear this, whether it's for the business side or like the lifestyle side, because it's like, that's why we get on these calls. If I can make some amount of impact, it could be being too transparent about my life, but hopefully it triggers something for you where you're like, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to put effort in that, because if this guy, Christo, that has the IQ of a squirrel or a frog, can get into the position that he's in, I can do it 10 times better and 10 times faster. That's all I'm trying to promote. But, you know, going from that point, when I got sober, I'd heard about the life insurance industry. I knew a lot of people that were making a lot of money. I knew people that worked at captive companies, and I was about to go over there because I didn't know the difference between 20% commission and 80% commission or anything. I was like, 20% sounds good. You make 3% in real estate. Or I was making 10% at other sales companies. And I got exposed to the opportunity of Family First Life. And I got out of rehab after making the most money I'd ever made in my life and burning my life to the ground, burning it more to the ground. And I feel like I'd like dug to hell and just decided like, okay, I'm done. Threw up the white flag and got my insurance license. I did not come into this industry on a winning streak. I can tell you that. And getting into this business with this company, with the people that I'm in business with, just like yourself, Grady, has been the best decision of my life.
Bro, that's, I mean, one, thank you for sharing. And I mean, I've only known this Christo. And so I feel like that Christo would have been a good time, but then, you know, I'm making jokes, which are totally inappropriate, but you know where I'm at.
I would have ruined your life, Grady.
I didn't know that Christo then. I don't want to dig more than you feel comfortable, but I feel like there is life's defining moments, right? That can happen when they graduate college, or they lose a loved one, or they something traumatic happens, right? So if you feel comfortable, what was the thing that finally pushed you to get sober this time and now stick like that? Because I mean, what you hear about addicts is that it's you have to cognitively make that decision every single day. Now you've built habits and walls around yourself where there's far limited less temptation, but also you are so proud of yourself and what you've built, you don't want to screw that up. But what, if you're comfortable, what happened 4 years ago that finally goes, this is it? If you, I mean, and whatever you feel comfortable in that realm, because sometimes people go, well, I don't know if that's something you can share.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak on it, and it's awesome because it's like my life is together. It's not perfect, but it's so together now where it's like I get to talk the honest, raw truth, and I don't have to worry about it. Like I make enough money, I have the results. It's like I've made mistakes, I'm going to do better. But I think one of the most defining moments of my life was when my best friend London shoots up. He grew up on San Juan Island with me. He moved to the next city I moved to, Bellingham, Washington. And I went to high school there, and we both started college early, like the Running Start program. We both lived there for a couple years. He moved to Arizona, and he's the reason that I actually moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So I had moved down here, and I was sober at the time. I had 3 years of clean and sober. My life was going good. I was running a digital marketing company, and felt like I was really getting the hang of things, especially to like move states and move to a new place. Business was good. And I got a motorcycle when I moved down here, and I had someone pull out in front of me when I was doing 80 and crashed that motorcycle pretty bad. Had some like exposed fractures, was in the trauma unit, immediately got surgery. And what happened with that, long story short, is I went from 3 years sober to being on a heavy amount of pain meds. Didn't want to be on them. Didn't want to go into surgery. I was like, I'm good, dude. Just let me out. And ended up having surgery and kind of being put back together, elbow, ankle, stuff like that. And was on a long-term pain med prescription. So it was a not intentional thing. It was like, you got to take this, buddy. Your heart rate's super elevated. And after an extended period of time, it reignited that obsession and that craving that I've done all this work for multiple years and therapy and built a business and went through all my stuff to then fall down that rabbit hole again. I take full accountability for it, but it was kind of like the ultimate finesse with that. But through that period, I was trying to get my stuff together. And my best friend, London, at the same time, was trying to get his stuff together because we've both been sober before. Very similar stories. Known this dude my entire life. He's like my brother, like Taylor. He's like my older brother. And we were like, hey, one more last hurrah. We're all getting our stuff together. There was like 5 of us that all had prior problems, and we're all just boys, and we all lived together. Like great relationships, friends. Like you could film anytime we hang out, and it was absolutely hilarious. And I got back from a flight. We were all going to go hang out that night. And I pulled up to the house, and long story short, he was dead from drugs and alcohol. And so I had just moved my entire life down there. There was 4 other people that had just moved their life to all live at the same house. And, looking at my best friend's dead body that was 22 years old, in the bluest eyes in the world. He just became a finance manager at Berkshire Hathaway at 22 years old, which is pretty abnormal. That means you're very talented. And seeing that, it absolutely throttled me in a way that I don't know how to describe it. I've seen some wild stuff in my life, but someone that I was that close with, it just sparked and ignited this thing of like, this is not a joke. It's not fun and games. It's not like I'm 19 anymore. And, crazy enough, because I want to be accountable to this, that wasn't enough for me. I thought it was enough. But the depression and other people passing away related to that, I went for one more final rip with that. And then 4.5 years ago, it finally all came together, and it just reached a point where it was like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to get my stuff together and like genuinely pursue a life beyond my wildest dreams and make a comeback for every mistake that I've made, make my mom and dad proud, and become the most reliable individual in my family. That's always been the goal.
So that's first. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But I mean, he would be, if you believe in the afterlife, that, he's looking down going, he's so fucking proud of you right now, dude. Like, that's.
I have his ashes, and it's like anytime before I get on a big call or I run a team meeting and I got anxiety and I'm nervous, I just like grab his ashes and I say a little prayer. Or anytime I have a disconnect with God and I'm not hearing like the message, I'm like, what would this guy tell me right now? Because it's very transparent. What would London Shoots tell to me right now? And it's like, that's the voice of God for me sometimes when I cannot find that connection. And I think that is super important for people to find, because in this business, if you do not have a connection with a power greater than yourself, it could be a tree, it could be a wave, it can be a guy with a beard in the sky, whatever you believe in. If you do not have a connection with a power greater than yourself, I'm not going to cuss, but it is going to be way harder for you to figure out how to find purpose, how to push through when things get really tough, how to double down when it doesn't even make sense to. But if you can figure out how to do that, I believe you have a chance of ending up in a position like all these people that we see on these calls.
Amen. Amen. So, Christo, what a story. And everyone that's on here, please, shout out, give Christo some love, some pray hands, a heart, whatever you feel compelled, show him some love for opening up and giving us a look, right? This is, many of us have, minimal troubles, minimal strife and stress that stop us in our tracks from taking steps forward. You had mountains of stress and strife and temptation and ideologies that you had to overcome. And I couldn't be, prouder to know you and prouder of what you've done, but you're proud of yourself, which is what truly matters. And so, as we evolve this call, like how in this do you find insurance? Like how does all of a sudden do you turn the corner and go, you know what? Let's kind of jump that bridge now. How did you get introduced to this business? What attracted you to it? And then, how are you doing what you're doing today? And then we'll jump in a little bit of, some sales stuff, because you're a magician on the phone too.
Okay. So with this, I had my digital marketing company. I started that when I was 20 years old, and I ran that until I was 25 years old. I'd always done decent. Like there was a couple times where it was like, I remember being on the phone with my mom and I'm like, oh, it's not working out the way I thought. But then I also had really good months. And that's how I built this confidence in business, from getting an LLC at 20 when no one I knew how to get one or any experience, to building up and finding solutions and being on YouTube and becoming a solutions-based thinker and being in that industry. What happened is during coronavirus, the majority of my clients were in Washington, and a lot of them were service-based businesses. So things were booming. I'm like, dude, I'm about to make $500K this year, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I don't know, 21 at the time. And I was super fired up about life. Just got past some criminal charges. We're moving forward. And coronavirus happened. And this is 2020, my bad. And my clients all emailed me in the same week or reach out to me, and they're like, hey, we can't move forward until we know what's going on. They're like, we love you. You provide a great service. We'll reach back out to you when things are rolling again. So that opened up the door for me to look into other industries. And at that point, I started reaching out. There was some solar stuff, but I saw some guys online that were young and a similar age to me that were really making money selling insurance. And I had watched their life, and it was like, okay, this guy got this car, and this stuff isn't important, but it was proof of concept for me, because I'm like, he got this car, he lives at this place. 6 months later, he's got this car. Year later, he lives at this place. He bought his mom this. I watched those things happen, and I was like, okay, these guys are making money. Like, you can only fake something for so long. Like,
Correct.
You can only rent a Lamborghini for so long before you're like, hey, I gotta return it. And so I saw some proof of concept and some people making noise, where I jumped on a couple calls with a couple different insurance companies, and I got feedback. I ended up talking to 6 different insurance companies before I found this opportunity. And coming across this opportunity, someone reached out to me out of the blue, and they're like, hey, someone sent me your number, and said that you were looking to get in the insurance space and that you're a beast. You've owned a digital marketing company. I would love to talk to you about this because it sounds like you're about to go to the company that I worked with prior, which was a captive company. They gave me the spiel. I got set up with study material before I went to rehab, and the rest is history at that point. But one thing I want to bring up that was really attractive to me, because although I've been wild and I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, when I'm committed to business, I'm committed to business. I roast myself all the time for being dumb and having a low IQ, but Grady, you know this, like when I'm locked in, watch out. And I mean that in a respectful and humble way, but the industry transitioning from in-home appointments to telesales. During COVID, I worked for one of my clients doing telesales while I was doing his digital marketing. And I got pretty decent on the phones and got that skill back. My first job, I was on the phones. That was a legit job on the books. I was 16 years old doing telesales for a company that's selling products in California. And so that excited me because I'm like, I can work from home. I understand the marketing. I understand the lead flow. I just need to make sure I have a decent script and I'm ready to work my ass off because I've already been working for myself, and you don't need to call me and be like, hey, when are you working? It's like, I'm already working, dude. Are you getting on? And so that really excited me once I found out that it was going more virtual. And that was the deciding factor with getting into the industry. But I got exposed to the life insurance business from social media.
Fascinating. And here's an insight for everybody that's recruiting. The best people are already doing something. Like Christo was already running a digital marketing, but now there was a transitional period that happened with COVID that he was open to it. But for any of you out there that want high quality people and top tier Christo-like people, you need to present this opportunity to people that aren't looking for jobs on Craigslist. You need to do what you can to expose them to a high commission, warm buyer lead, digital marketing type platform where you can sell insurance through a brokerage and have multiple different options to satisfy your client's needs. There's not a client that we don't come across that we can't take care of. And so for a guy like Christo to come to insurance, it's almost like, the best people will all be here at some point. It just takes time for them to realize, why am I going to make 3% and I can't buy leads and I've got to show houses on a Saturday? Why am I going to do real estate when I could sell insurance? Mm-hmm. Mortgages, mortgages are they ups and downs. Not great right now. Why are great people coming to insurance? Well, because insurance is consistent. And so that's some advice for all of you guys that are out there. And it's like, of course you were massively successful and then you came here and you're successful. That's just what happened. So for all of you guys that are getting started and wherever you are, go prospect great people and show them this world. So you get in, start selling, start recruiting day one.
I knew, so it's funny. I was so broke when I got in this business because here's the other side without going down the rabbit hole. I am a felon. And I say that to other people because hopefully this sparks some interest, or I don't know what it is, but I'm transparent about that. I am a felon. So if you're planning on getting in the life insurance space and you have a criminal record and it's felonies, it's one, you can't guarantee that's going to happen. Two, it's going to take a while longer. Three, when you try to apply for insurance carriers, you're probably going to get declined by all, half, some. It's not a for sure thing. So Grady, I had planned on getting in the life insurance industry 9 months prior before I got into it. But I was like waiting for my license to get approved and then the insurance carriers and stuff like that. So there was this delay where I was selling off my digital marketing clients and kind of trying to figure out, when is this going to get approved? Am I going to be able to do it? But every single egg I had, mentally, physically, spiritually, because I read Think and Grow Rich when I was in rehab again, and it talked about a guy that sold life insurance and was a multimillionaire, and it just stuck with me because my uncle built a multi-million-dollar life insurance company called M Financial. You can look it up. It was based out of Portland. And, he passed away when I got into the insurance industry. So it was like this metaphorical passing of the torch. And, when I started, I had one life insurance carrier. I had one state. All my other insurance applications for states were pending. The first two I submitted were California and Florida, and they got declined. And it just started this rat's nest of problems. And I'm communicating this for people because it's like what I had to do to get to where I'm at is a lot of random paperwork and all this other stuff I don't know how to do, and it took a lot longer. So if you look at me, one, you're smarter than me. Two, you're probably better at sales than me. And three, it's like that means you can do it faster, better, smarter, be more profitable. So when I started, I had one insurance carrier, but I knew I wanted to build a team, so I started hiring people. Crazy thing with this is when you start hiring and you only have one insurance carrier and you're building a team, what happens?
There's some challenges there.
Exactly. So there's contracting challenges, and then also, in terms of building an agency, I wasn't really getting paid for that. I started out by doing this because I just wanted to work with other people and develop something that was greater than myself and provided value and made me excited about life, because I knew I will be 10 times more accountable to other people than I will to myself. So immediately I started putting myself in a position of I got to be accountable for other people. And when I started, I had $232 in my bank account. I sold policies to 4 people that I knew, and then spent my last $232 on 9-month-old age leads through the ILC. And that's how this, I feel like I've heard people at other companies or other places say stuff like factually, $232 in my bank account, spent my entire net worth on 9-month-old leads, and wrote people I knew personally because I knew I had to get creative because I was broke. And that is how this entire thing came to fruition. It's very humble beginnings. It's nothing to brag about, but I'm saying that because it's if you are creative and you can pull out your bank account and be like, I am broke as F, right? And that's where I'm at. I need to get really willing. I need to get really creative, and I need to get really, really, really consistent to be able to figure out how to put the resources together to be in a successful position. Not tomorrow, not next week, but 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. And you have to remind yourself of that every day. So I was humbled before I got into this industry, and I got my ego checked. I had everything stripped away from me. And God bless America that happened, because I would not be in the position I'm in, because I became willing to do other stuff that I wasn't willing to do prior. And when shit hit the fan, excuse my language, it wasn't even a big deal. It's dude, I'm already prepared for this. And so it's been hurdle after hurdle. And I see people come into this industry and they're like, I have 7 out of the 8 contracts. I can't start writing business yet. I'm like, dude, do you know who you're working with? I'm like, ugh. And so in this business, I just want to say this. If you have some skill with communication, you can sound good on the phone, you can connect decently with people, and you're willing to grow, but then you are ruthless with creativity and work ethic and the willingness to grow and change and get feedback, and then work 12 hours a day. If it comes down to it, some days, there's no reason you cannot be successful. But guess what? 95% of people will be like, yeah, I'm down, but it's really 20% of people that will follow through with that. And so I wanted to be in that 20%, and I wanted to be in that top 5% that follows through and gets the results and ends up on a call like this with you, Grady, because that's what the goal. It actually just gives me chills. That was the goal I set when I got in the industry. It was I want to make enough noise that someone will ask me to be on a call, and hopefully I can provide some value to someone else's life.
Well, you're doing that at the highest level, bro. So if anyone's got issues, talk about a guy that has navigated all kinds of challenges and is making it happen, right? You can tell the size of a man by the wall that keeps him from moving forward. And you've making it happen. So, okay. So I want to get 2 things out of you before we close this out. One, I want to get some words. What are the magic words? What are the Bolgerisms? Honor your parents. What are the Bolgerisms? I think Bolger Financial would have has a good ring to it. But what are the words you say to move clients forward? You're open first, 15, 30, 60, 90 seconds, take control on the call. And then I want you to talk about how you have such high persistency as an agency. What are some things you guys do internally that really kind of what you focus on, sales style, follow up, whatever you're doing there. So those kind of 2 big, some points to give them as we wrap this up. But
for sure. So I think with sales and telesales specifically, Grady, if I go, say I don't have hand tattoos and stuff like that, and I go and meet with someone and you can't see any of my tattoos, I'm not wearing a hat, I'm wearing a button-up shirt, and I go meet with someone in person, I personally know from how I communicate and how I make people feel and the intentionality I have when I connect with people, that my close ratio would be extremely high if I'm meeting with people in person. And that's great. But guess what? I do not want to go drive around Phoenix and have to travel and go to different places where there, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to do that. So knowing that, just like knowing I was broke when I started in this and I was going to have to get creative, I know if I'm doing telesales, it all comes down to how I sound. So when I'm communicating right now, I know in my heart that I sound confident because I believe in every single effing thing that I'm saying right now, because I've lived it, I've walked it, I've gotten my teeth kicked in, and I've had the blessing of facing a lot of very difficult things in this business, and I've made it through it, whether it's sales stuff, business stuff, hiring stuff, all of the in between. Where when you have that confidence in your voice and you're talking to a client on the phone, I think if you sound 3, 4, 5 times more confident than somebody else, and you understand all the different ways that a call could go, and it's already programmed in your brain because you got the reps, you got your teeth kicked in, you've ran all sorts of different types of leads, and you've exposed yourself to a ton of feedback. Guess what? If I practice a script with you on this call, Grady, and I mess up, I don't care, because I produce results, and I can produce results for other people. If I'm having an off day and I'm practicing, dude, whatever, it's recorded, not a big deal. But my team and my people know that I walk the walk and I can talk the talk. And so I think when it comes down to magic words and magic stuff on the phones, I developed a creativity because I called 9-month-old and 6-month-old leads for like the first year that I was here because I was broke. And so I can train people from all different categories of how to do that. I'm super used to hearing, yeah, Christo, stop calling me. I already got it taken care of. I'm like, perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling, Grady. It looks like your agent didn't update your file here. So I'm going to get this updated for you because you're probably sick of getting these phone calls. Is correct? Perfect. Okay. So just need to grab a couple things from you here just so I can close it out. Which one of our carriers did you end up going with? Oh, okay. You went with MetLife. All right. Perfect. And then what was the monthly premium? And then last thing, what was the face amount of the policy? And I can get this closed out for you. Boom. Have all those things. Carrier, coverage, cost. I have what I need to potentially put someone in a better position if I'm going to do a policy flip. It works well in my brain. And if you listen, that wasn't my best example, but if you listen, I'm justifying how I'm about to do them a favor of closing their file out because their agent forgot to do it. And I'm going to provide them value with them not getting phone calls anymore. But hey, man, I got to grab a couple other things. And incrementally through the process where I'm like, hey, I'm grabbing this info. I know after the first or second thing I ask, they want to be like, why do you need all this? I'm justifying this is the last thing I got to add on, and then I can get it all closed out and submit this. Then I ask, okay, and what's the monthly premium? At that point, if I'm talking to a client and I'm scouring and checking our quote tool and I'm seeing, hey, who can we put them with? All I'm doing at that point is I'm trying to put a client in a better position. And once you work in this business long enough and you have the opportunity or you have the kahunas to speak up enough and hold clients accountable, you will have an experience where you have a grandmother that is making $1,400 a month through Social Security income, and she's paying $250 for a life insurance policy, and you can get her the same policy and it's $150. You just saved her $100 a month and got her the same coverage, and she's like, wow. Or all sorts of different situations where you're
at all. They have it. They bought it at the bank. They've sent a card online and they thought they bought it. They bought it, but they never got billed. Well, the bill hasn't come out. There's all kinds of scenarios.
Colonial pins, stuff like that. Like when you get educated on these things, like when I got decent, and I'm never going to say I'm good at anything, to be honest, except for messing my life up previously. But when I got good at this business is when I found myself, when everybody else I knew that was my age and making money and out at the club and doing X, Y, and Z, trying to look cool, I was checking carrier products. Hey, for MetLife, what does their coverage entail? Do they have double accidental included? All these different companies, I was getting educated on that because I understood for myself where I was missing out on the most money was when people told me I already got it taken care of. And I'm like, that is, if you can figure out how to handle those conversations and sink the hook. Hey, Grady, can I shoot straight with you for 30 seconds? Right? Like those things where you interrupt the pattern And you can know in your heart, like, I'm going to provide this person more value, or I'm going to send them on their way. Or if you've practiced enough times and a client's like, oh, I'm happy where I'm at. Grady, if I find out what carrier, the coverage amount, and the cost of your coverage, the ball's in my court how I want to communicate it. Why do some people make more money than other people? Well, because they capitalize on creativity and they practice that stuff so it comes out better. And I know we all know this, but it's like, I can say this 1,000 times. Are people watching this actually going to go practice it so they can increase their income 30% in a month? Because all those people that used to be like, I got it taken care of, take me off. You can get their information, close out their file. If you can't beat the price and put them in a better position, yeah, stop calling them. But for me, once I have that, I'm like, okay, Grady, I see why your file might still be open. Did they tell you that was like the best price available to you? Or did you recently have like a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something like that? No? Okay. Like at that point, all I'm going to try and do is build uncertainty with the client and get them like questioning, did I go with the best thing? And then I'm going to present them a better option, but I'm going to crunch the numbers before I even communicate it with them. That's why I kind of paused there for a second, because it's like, if you don't have the pathway wired in your brain and you don't practice this with people, you're going to sound funny on the phone. Like for me, I'm kicking it. I'm on the phone. I'm happy. I'm prepared for whatever objection the client's about to hit me with. But I got the Americo site pulled up and I'm like, 15,000 of coverage. Boom. I already know this. Yeah, Grady, I'm actually looking here. One of our top A-rated insurance companies, Americo, it looks like they're going to offer the same coverage that you already have, and it's going to be $15 a month cheaper. And they actually have the accelerated death benefit rider. Or what we can do for the same price you're already paying, we can get you an additional 12,000 of coverage. So would you rather save money every month, or would you rather have more coverage for your family left behind? And then I option close. I'm not just like, hey, I can save you money and I'm a broker. I'm like, did you want to save money, or do you want more coverage for the same price that you're paying?
Light bulb moment right there. That's so good, bro.
Well, and I think it's just having I'm definitely not smart, but like I'm passionate about this stuff and I get fired up about saving people money. But those are some of the quickest sales that you can have, because when you get good at that, anything else, that's the hardest thing in this business, is to do a policy flip that is correct and done the right way, and putting someone in a good position and doing it in a one-call close and peaking the interest so that you can do it more often, because then you're saving America at that point.
Dude, I mean, no, 100%, right? They've already purchased insurance recently. And just so we're clear, like when you're looking to buy something, right, you're going to look at a few things. So the clients often fill out multiple leads requests or multiple websites. Then they get retargeted. Someone buys their data, whatever. Hey, Barry, we saw you were online looking at insurance. We're here to follow up, right? So clients are looking at multiple things. If they bought over here through a captive company and we can save them money, that's our job. Our job is to save them money or get them more coverage. And it's just a phenomenal angle. So, but just like you said, a policy flip, I like policy flip. It reminds me, like, it's just like, I like how you coined that term. Because the hard part's already been done. They already established their beneficiaries. They've had a mental conversation about their budget. They might have already thought, can we afford this? Can we not afford this? What can we afford? And now you're coming and going, I've got past America, we've got 9 other carriers we can look at if that initial product is a guaranteed issue product, right? And which they may or not know, because the agent that sold them didn't have their best interest. They were just trying to make a commission. And we're trying to give them the absolute best product that will be there when that worst day comes.
Well, and here's an example too, is like Mutual of Omaha, who's a great company, they send out flyers in the mail to all these people. So agents will call them and they'll be like, I have a policy through Mutual of Omaha. And good agents are like, oh, I'm not going to try and flip that policy because it's Mutual of Omaha. They probably got it with us or whatever. I ask additional questions because I want to get clarity so that I know someone's in the best position. Hey, did you get that directly through Mutual of Omaha, or was it through like a licensed agent, broker? Do you remember? Oh, no, I got the thing in the mail and I called in, or I sent it back in and I got a policy. Oh, did they communicate that policy is a 2-year waiting period? It's a graded policy. They're like, yeah, I thought that's what every insurance policy has. I'm like, no, there's a difference between a 2-year waiting period and a contestability period. Every insurance, like, I'll educate them on that. And then they find out they just got a 2-year, they're perfectly healthy, and they got a policy through Mutual of Omaha that just automatically has a 2-year waiting period. And if they get it through us, there's no waiting period. And at that point, guess what? I'm putting the client in a better position so it's suitable to make that change. But once I figured that stuff out, it changed everything else. That when I sell, I don't sell a crazy amount because I have 28, I think now I have 30 direct agents or teams underneath me. And so like when I have an hour and a half to dial through the day, I'm selling as much as I can. But the confidence when you do, because you've been through those things and guided the people, and then you get the reward, the financial reward is great. But when you have a grandma that you know is like, yeah, I'm saving $150 a month, that gets me excited about what we do.
It's the best. Guys, this is why you show up to these calls, because Christo just gave you a insurance sales 304 lesson on the high level stuff that you takes time to sort through and figure out. But if you're new on this call, watch this back when we push it out on YouTube, or watch it back after, get these magic words that he's put together, which is why he's so good at what he does, dude. Any final things on sales, or you want to jump into persistency real quick?
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff I could say about that, but I think like everyone that's watching this, you have to expose yourself to getting your teeth kicked in. I'm not good. I've just gotten my teeth kicked in enough because I used to rip the phones 12 hours a day and call leads that the majority of them would not pick up because I knew they were aged, right? And I didn't have a crazy expectation, but I was willing to work. And the people that picked up because they were so old didn't know what I was calling about. So I had to get really good at reminding, and I don't want to say finesse, but like wiring the conversation to convince people that they actually did fill it out. This is what I'm trying to do. And I became a professional file closer. If you're a new agent, the more people you can have grab a pen and paper, the more at bats you're going to get. And if you know how to communicate on any level, you are going to make more money long term. So you guys are salespeople. The majority of people watching this are salespeople. My name is Christo Bolger. I am a professional file closer, and that's what I do for a living, because the more files that you close, the more at bats you got, the more presentations you're going to get. If you have more presentations, you're probably going to close more sales.
Natasha, just put this in the boot camp, because this was fantastic. This was a masterclass. Professional file closer. You're fantastic, bro. Okay. Just because, we've been talking about different carriers and back office things that are happening with different carriers. And then, we don't talk about that, but we'll talk about, you've done a good job of, and maybe it stems from this. And you might go, we just kind of start here. But I remember one of the things early on, and I reference you many on calls, you told me early on, you have people your new agents watch 10 full presentations before you let them start dialing. And I was like, that's such a brilliant idea, because in that 10 presentations, they're going to see objections. They're going to see EAP issues. They're going to see banking issues. Or they're going to see Social Security rebuttals. And you're going to, that new agent's going to watch an agent overcome that stuff. And that's why it's so crucial with new agents to get on live dials, right? New agents come into this business, they go, well, I just want to buy leads and dial the phone for a couple hours and make $30,000 a month. Yeah, me too. Okay. Me too. But that's not what it takes. You want the big bucks, you want the big money, you want the big reward. You've got to put in big time to get yourself up and skilled. And so I loved you talking about that years ago. And I share that often, 10 full presentations for a new agent. And so, but I'd love for you, what are some things that you kind of coach or within your agency to kind of keep persistency high?
So I try to communicate the stuff that a lot of people won't or don't know the right verbiage to, in the psychology behind a broke salesperson that wants to make a ton of money and be successful. So let's use solar, for example. This is actually, I use this on the phone with two people that are in door-to-door, and they were like, wow, that's actually powerful. So when you work in sales, people are like, oh, that guy's a closer, right? Car dealership, solar, right? Guys selling grandma's solar, and it's way priced over, all sorts of stuff like that. He's such a closer.
There's a special place for those guys, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
$80,000 units on a $200,000 house. They're making $32,000 and laughing about it. Like, we make moving on, but keep going.
So when someone's a closer and they try to come into the insurance industry and they just want to close, that sounds cool. Like salespeople are like, yeah, he's a closer. That's cool. But what I'm concerned about is the stuff that isn't as marketable. like when I sold insurance, Grady, at a higher level than I do now, I wanted to have the biggest multiplier on my lead spend. I wanted to be profitable. And that's what I was focused on, because numbers are great. Like, yes, dude, FFL is going to do $1 billion next year. I'm super excited for us to be doing over $1 million a month. But like, those are numbers. On the back end, it's the profitability aspect of it, where like, that's what I try to train my people on. I'm like, if you can be really profitable and right between 20 and 40K every month, and you can have good business retention, and you cannot oversell clients, because what happens with closers is, dude, I can sell someone that has very low income and figure out a way to tap into their why, to where they will value spending $300 a month on insurance when they make $1,500 a month. I know factually I could do that, because I can communicate it in a way where they'll be like, holy shit, Christo, I do need this, right? I'm not trying to do that. I'm not in insurance to do that. If anything, I'm not preaching this all the time, but I'd rather down close and start an application today and call someone 6 months later and add coverage on. Like, when I talk to clients, it depends on what type of leads I'm running, but when I talk to clients, I'm like, hey, Grady, my intentions today is at least to submit an application and a request for coverage to see if we can get you approved. I don't care if it's 5,000. I don't care if it's 50,000. I don't care if it's 5 million. But my goal when I'm on the phone with you today is to at least apply for a policy, so you do not have to worry about this moving forward. Because what you are actually paying for is peace of mind, not for insurance. You want to know when you pass away that your kids are taken care of. And when I recite that in my head and I explain it to clients, they're like, this Christo guy, like, he's not a salesperson. Like, he's just trying to submit an application so that I don't have to worry about it. And then if it's, hey man, I got to think about it, I'm not trying to force them into it. I'm like, hey, could we both agree that you could afford the third option? Like, undoubtedly, because I know that you're looking at, the first and the second option. You probably want that for your family. If anything, dude, I'm going to try and get them to down close, or I'm going to create a foot in the door program, which I call that. The fourth option, the option that isn't there, this is the foot in the door program. This allows us to submit a request for coverage that is factually in your budget, so you don't have to worry about that. And then in 3 months, I will set a follow-up call after we get you approved, and we can add coverage on, because I know you want more coverage than this, but right now, Grady, you don't have any coverage, and the only coverage that matters is the policy that's in effect on the day that you die. So I'm not God, you're not God. We don't know when that's going to happen. And then I'll just show them the price. What do you think of that?
That's huge. That's huge. And that's a mature way to approach this business. And if you're teaching that to people, you are focused far more on creating a book of clients than a quick close, which then that $300 a month guy, $1,500, he might feel emotionally attached to it today because you've painted such a picture. Maybe month 2, the sting may linger. By month 3, he's going, we can't buy as much at the grocery store because we're paying so much on insurance. I love you, honey, but I got to cancel this thing. We got to figure it out, right? Yep. And then boom, you charge back because you didn't sell him. Versus if you would have started way lower, he's your guy. He feels better. He tells his wife, tells the family that we've got some insurance finally, and he's proud as a father. Versus guilt down the road of having to cancel something that he had so much emotion attached to. It's awesome.
Stories that are realistic. You can use other people's stories. I think those are the best selling points of realistic things. Hey, I just want to be transparent about you. We've had people that have had X, Y, and Z happen, and we schedule an appointment a month later, and this is how it played out, but in a way where it's not super pushy. And also, I want to acknowledge I answered your question with a long story, but in reality, when you think about that way and you train people that way, and it's like, dude, I'm not trying to slap everybody with a $350 a month premium. My last sales personally, though, are 5,800 AP, 5,900 AP, 2,000 AP, 3,300, and 1,500. I'm genuinely just providing value. And that's me even down closing based off what the people wanted, and they just saw value in their income matches. So I'm training people like, dude, if it doesn't make sense, and if someone has a tire pop and it's that tight, I would rather just not sell the policy, right? I want to live a life of abundance. There is the initial part that I hope this provides value to new people that are in a tricky financial situation. There are times where it was like I was super motivated to make a sale because, dude, I was broke. I was trying to figure it out, right? I'm like, oh, let's see. I want to put them in a good position, want it to be affordable. You need to be accountable to the business that you write in this company, in this business. And you need to know if you're selling a policy and it doesn't really make sense to work out, and then you're upset 3 months later when it charges back, you are not an accountable adult. And we all need to live in that level of accountability. If we're closing something, it's like, this doesn't seem super sticky, but I'm going to do it. When you forget about who that client was and the conversation they charge back later on, you need to keep track of like, hey, it's 50-50 so that you know. But some of that stuff early on when I did really need money, I'm not saying go write business that's not sticky. Dude, there was like 3 policies where I'm like, I'm not sure, but guess what? I took the $3,500 that I made from that and I turned it into another 30 sales from it. And I became super accountable. I've never had anybody have to worry about my accountability or my business or what's going on. And I worked with purpose like that, where I think that's why I have a lot to work on and grow, but I think that's why I'm in the position I'm in right now.
I love it, bro. Christo, you are, I mean, dude, your future is, I can't wait to watch, bro. I'm front row seats, right? 1A right there. I wanted 1A seat watching. What's he going to do now? How big is this guy going to build? And I'm so excited for you. Thank you for all you shared. Your story, as I know, has touched many. And it's one that is unique to you, but at the same standpoint, it is one that other people are dealing with stuff. And if they can just look past the now and the today and plan for a future, they can create something that mirrors what you're doing here, bro. So as we close, go ahead. I want final thoughts to Christo.
I just want to say one thing, because I think this is the most important part. Anybody who's on my sales team that's watching this, I'm so grateful for you guys, like getting to do this and run a business and be in business with accountable people that have buy-in, that are invested in it, that like ride the waves of, oh, this is awesome, and oh, this isn't going good. I'm beyond grateful for that. And I think like any of you watching this, if you're new, your goal should be to build and create your community of people. I get to work with my older brother, who's also clean and sober. He wrote 52,000 last month. I get to work with a guy named Chucky that I've known for years and is like my second older brother. I have amazing people that are 21, 22, 23 that are, I don't know if we can talk about income on here, but like are absolutely blowing it out of the water. And I would love to sit here and name everybody off, but you guys know who you are. And it's amazing to stick in this business long enough and ride the ups and the downs to be able to experience someone that's 21 years old, that is 7 months into this business and depositing $40,000, $50,000 in a month and making more money and doing it faster than I ever thought I would do. Does everybody do that? No, because they're not accountable. But when people do that and wake up and smell the coffee, it's like, okay. So I just want to give a shout out to Grady, you, Nina and Hayden, Sean, Mike, Andrew, Taylor, everyone at FFL for like backing me and giving me an opportunity to just be me and grow. And also everyone on my team, the managers, the individual salespeople, like it's a blessing and a miracle that I get to do this business with all of you.
Amen, bro. Well, you're making them proud. Your who you are is certain, but your work ethic is incredible, and it's testament to who you are, your parents, your upbringing, your background, what you've gone through, what you never want to go back to, and what you want to build, create for here now, and the life you're building for your future, bro. So we're proud to know you. This was a phenomenal call. Everyone slam your favorite emoji, something to give me the bicep muscle, something to show Christo some love. If you don't follow him on social, you should. If you like, it's PG-13, but you know, he's recruiting like crazy, and it's a phenomenal scene every single day. I never know what's going to pop up. He's working out, he's driving fast. There's some lady standing on his car. It's just crazy stuff happening in this dude's life. And at the same time, he's building an agency that does $10 million a year in issue paid business to the agents that he works with and coaches. So, Christo, beyond proud of you, bro. Can't wait to see you next week. We're going to have some fun in Palm Beach, and you'll light it up on stage. So thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, Grady. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. All right, everybody. This is a I'm out of words. You know, this is my favorite part of the business, is just getting to highlight and spend time with great men like Christo. And so for all of you out there, Set goals, set intentionality, get leads, get uncomfortable, become a professional file closer, multiply your lead spend, create that foot in the door program, Mary, and use these words. Watch this back. Take what Christo's saying, because you will run these objections. And when you're starting on this business, you're buying 50-cent, 9-month age leads. He just gave you the blueprint on how to move them forward, get some conversations, start to have a conversation with them when you originally thought there was none. So excited. 7 days till Ignite. Over 3,000 people will be there in Florida with us, and I can't wait for it. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks live. Please join us in the next couple of weeks if you're not watching live, but if you're not joining us Ignite. But without that, guys, here's your moment of Zen. It's phenomenal. It's changed my life. I hope you enjoy it as well. Bye for now.
I believe desire and will to win is everything. I don't know why I'm like I am, but my butt's always burning. There's always something, say, Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to go for it. Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to be somebody. You're supposed to make a difference with your life. What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. You look at the outside and study those two individuals, everything seems to be the same. They both are the same sex, they both are the same age, they have the same training, the same positions, the same contract, the same fringe benefits. They both are successful, they work hard, they're good family people, make tough commitments. But what's the difference? What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. He pays the price and a little bit more. He works hard and a little bit more. He's loyal to the company and a little bit more. He believes in a little bit more. He makes money and a little bit more. He saves money and a little bit more. If you want to win in these United States, you got to be tough and you can't quit. The last thing I'll talk to you about today in building this winning edge is, folks, if you want to win in business, you got to be a leader. Leadership is everything. You show me anything in these United States that win, I'll show you a leader at work. You show me a successful church, Boy Scout troop, club, football team, business, I'll show you something run by a leader. See, I thought at one time in my life you had to be smart to win. I used to have these smart people that dress so pretty and talk so pretty and use these big words. They just intimidated me. And I said, Art, you can't ever be that good. Why don't you just throw in the towel and go back and coach football for a living? And I found two things out about smart people. I think it's almost impossible for a smart person to win in business in America today. Because I find smart people spend their whole lifetime figuring things out. They're always trying to figure out an easier way and a quicker way. And another thing I found out about smart people is they just don't get around to doing nothing. And see, somebody like Art Williams, everybody said, well, he can't do it. And somebody like that can't do it. But he does it. See, folks, I want you to know almost everybody in America almost does enough to win. They almost get there. They almost are over the hump. They almost have it going. They almost, in everything they do, almost is a way of life to almost everybody in America. But the winners do it. What do? They do whatever it takes to get the job done. They do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to be somebody they're proud of. We need leaders in America who can do it. If you want to become somebody, do it. If you want to go in business for yourself, do it. If you want to become financially independent, do it. I hear too much talk in these United States. Everybody can talk a good game. We need people in America who can do it. I go all over this country with A.L. Williams, and I have people say, Art, you can count on me. Wonderful. Just do it. Art, I guarantee you this is my last stop. I'm going to win now. Super duper. Just do it. Art, if I could just have one good month and get the ball going, I know I could make it big. Super. Just do it. Art, if I could just pay off this debt, I could really go. Great. Just do it. Art, if I could just sell my house. Do it. But houses ain't selling. Do it anyway. Art, I'm not making any money. What can I do? You just do it. Do what, Art? You do it, and do it, and do it. Art, I guarantee I'm going to win this contest. Super duper. Just do it. Art, I'm over the hump now. Watch my smoke. Great. Just do it. Art, I want to make it so bad I can taste it. What I do? You just do it. Art, I'm a vice president now. Can I quit doing it? No. Art, I don't know if I can keep on keeping on. I'm really hurting. What I do? You just do it. Do what, Art? You do it, and do it and do it. Art, all my life I wanted to be somebody important. Well, what do it then? Art, I'm going to save money so I don't have to go through this again. Great. Just do it. Art, I don't feel like I've had enough training. What I do? You just do it. Art, my manager don't give me no help. What I do? You just do it. Art, you don't understand. I was Mr. Everything at my former company. You don't mean I have to start off down here at the bottom and do it, do you? Yep, you really got to do it. Art, what's the primary difference between winners and losers? The winners do it. They do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to finally have achieved something unique, and how glad they are that they didn't quit like everybody else, and how wonderful it is to finally be somebody they're proud of and make a difference with their life. Thank you.